porridge, something that even at home they were not getting porridge. The white one, the white porridge. But when we were growing up, white porridge with salt, not sugar, with salt. And we took it with thanksgiving. With thanksgiving. And honestly, we were not malnourished. We were very healthy. Sometimes we ate vegetable only. That is the only thing that was available. And you eat it gladly, mpaka unashiba. And today, ati mami, you don't want to eat sausage. Okay, what do you want to eat? Eh? I want yum chom. And we will go out of our way, actually, to bring those things. And then they just eat kidogo, they just leave it. All right? Serious? So that's how we are raising our children today. I asked you a question and I will ask it again. God forbid, if you can disappear today, will your children survive in this world? Will they survive? I know of a couple, actually. It was my principal when I was in Bible college. They died the same day with the wife through a road accident. And they left their children. So the question is, will they survive by themselves? You see, parents are given a positive command to bring them up, those children. In other words, Christians are expected to highly be involved in raising their own children. Now, two areas here are mentioned in this passage that we have read. The first one, it talks about the Apostle Paul actually include the issue of discipline. Okay, he says discipline involves learning self-control and the ability to restrain from personal desires in order to do what is right. Both the child and the parent need actually to exercise self-discipline. Because sometimes there are things that we did not do ourselves. Now we want to do them through our children. Okay? You wanted to become a doctor, but the grades did not allow you. So now you are forcing your child to become a doctor. Without actually knowing that these are complete human beings, that God has a destiny for them. God has a plan for them. Now you force them to become doctors. I have actually had people telling me, this is for my father. This degree is for my father. Once I'm done with it, I'll give it to him, and then I will go and pursue my passion. There is a lady who did that. Citizen News. There was this lady, right? Julie Gishuru. Professionally, he was a lawyer. He went to school, akastudy mpaka akamaliza, akaenda law school akamaliza, akachukua hiyo akaachia wazazi, yeye akapursue her passion, journalism. Money wasted. You see, sometimes we think, you watch after the results are out, class 8 or the O-level results are out. You will hear crazy things. Parents, what do you want to become? A neurosurgeon, a doctor. That's what we teach them. That's what we tell them. That's what we tell them. There's a young man that came to my office yesterday, a student from Pwani University. He will be graduating this December, maybe. And this young man, he studied something in the university, but right now, his passion and everything is completely different. And he did something that actually caught my attention. I even asked him to come to church on Sunday, tomorrow, that young man. He has done something that really caught my attention. And since I was doing parenting, I told him, you come. Because sometimes we think we know what is good for our children, but we don't consult God about our children. And we make huge mistakes. Remember, they are not your children. You are just a custodian. They belong to God. God has the blueprint for their life. And you must constantly involve God. So Paul talks about disciplining our children. And that is what some of you are saying. We will not do that. Okay? Let them just grow. Let them grow. Okay? Sometimes actually that which you think is extreme, it is necessary. Yeah? I have beaten my children sometimes very thoroughly. And then baadaye naenda tena namfuata. I impress the child. And we have a small conversation. Okay. We have a small conversation. But I impress them after really. So every time they think going that route, that pain just registers in the mind. And it tells them, this is not the right thing. And they will not do it. They will not do it. You know, the second thing that the Apostle Paul is talking is about instructions. Instructing them in the Lord. The first one was discipline. The other one is instruction. So we should be involved in teaching our children about God's ways through both education and example. Now this is important. Both education and example. We must set examples ourselves for them. All right? For example, fathers. Actual fathers have the biggest responsibility. Fathers. To be a father is a huge thing. Okay? My friend, Makobo, you see you're a father. And God is also a father. Okay? So you actually work in the order, in that divine order. You fall in that category. So actually you are God. Let me use this word for the extreme. You are actually the reflection of God to your children. You are the reflection of God to your children. So when they see you as a father, and then you tell them, God is a loving father, they first see you first. The father they see as a loving one, then that one will help them to appreciate God as the father. Okay? But if you are cruel to your children, and then you tell God, God is a loving God, He's a loving father, they just see you immediately. And that is how they will relate with God, as a cruel father. And they may never actually accept Christ just because of that. So we have a big responsibility. We are the greatest influencers to our children. So how we balance between discipline and instruction. You see, discipline is not punishment. Those are two different things. Okay? I know we were disciplined and punished at the same time. That one I accept. But it still worked. But for us, we will discipline our children and also instruct them. Many of us, we refuse, we remove the discipline part. We just try to instruct. And that's what the Americans are telling you. How many, today, many of the people that are in prison, they are people that were not disciplined. They were just left. You know, a child can also even resent that. A child can resent that. He can actually equate that like you don't love them. If you don't know, by the way, some can equate that you do not love them by not actually disciplining them. When they hear others say, oh, dada alinichapa, wewe nilipofanya hivyo, wewe ukifanya hivyo utachapa. Yeye hachapwi kwao na anafanya hivyo. Anaona kweli wazazi wake hampendi basi. Where you think you love the child. You're spoiling. Kids talk. Kids, I'm telling you, they compare notes. They compare notes. They bring their parents, wanawaweka kwa public na wanawadiscuss. I am telling you the truth. they discuss them. They discuss them. You see, according to scripture, the Bible says, a father trains the child he loves. A father disciplines the child he loves. That is in Proverbs 3:12. Yeah? But also a father instructs the child that he loves. Proverbs 13:1. And a father provides for his children. Proverbs 19:14. Now, let me say something else. There's like a principle kingine hapa nataka kuwapatia. Your environment trains your children more than you do. That's another principle. Your environment trains your children more than you do. Now, you may not agree. The community your children live in and the school they attend influences them even more than probably you do. So accept the fact that the environment is training your child for you. Therefore, make the effort to control their environment and don't just give them a set of rules to follow. So even the school that they attend should be a concern to you. You know, some of us, we just hear, oh, that school produces 400. That school produces 400, so we take our children there to get 400. Without actually understanding the environment in which they will be growing. You understand? Because life is not about the 400s. Life is not about A's. There is so much in life than those A's that you want for your child. How many have A's and they are completely lost? Completely destroyed. When we first came into Kilifi, I took my daughter, he was in class 7. She was in class 7, yes. And I took her to a certain school that I will not disclose. And I removed her after 1 month. And I had paid everything. School fees, I had paid for food, and I've paid for transport in full. And I removed that child within 1 month. And I even told the school, you can keep the school fees. Okay? But let's negotiate the food and transport. And they said, no. No. I said, okay. They tried, but I said, okay, I'll take my daughter away. The reason is, number one, parents were not allowed in that environment ya hiyo shule. You can only enter the office. And after the office, you go away. So when I got that, I said, I can't. Personally, I will have even to go to the classroom. And I didn't want, I will go around the compound. And I don't compromise that way. So I used to do that. The first mistake they did, my daughter is in class 7, but they are actually handling class 8 work because class 7 was done in class 6. Number one, that is already an error. In developmental ya watoto, that is wrong. Extremely wrong. You are overstretching the mind of that child, and somewhere along the line, they may be confused with certain things. And so they were so busy doing class 8, and then I went and questioned. And they say, no. Your daughter is very bright, so what we'll do, we'll just, you know. Okay. So sometimes I would go to school. So I went there in the compound. They were in class. The whole school is quiet, completely quiet. So I just walked around alone. I didn't talk to anyone. And then I saw one child move from class like an arrow. Actually, that child moved like an arrow. And he went to a water tank and he grabbed some water from the tap, drank the water, and then went back to class. And then another one did that. And I was wondering, what is going on? Okay, I waited until break time. So break time, they were given porridge. And everyone went to the water tank and added water into the porridge. And, yes, it was hot. Then they swallow it, then back to class. there is something wrong. Serious, there is something wrong. Then I asked my daughter, says me, in our school, we are told we should not talk to anyone, but we talk to books. In our school, we talk to books. And then there is no games. Okay. Then the girl would come home sometimes past 9. And then the amount of homework, I would honestly look at the child, hata kama nataka 400, I will destroy my child. After 1 month, I visited the office. I want my daughter out of. In fact, before that daughter of mine met Christopher, Elder Christopher. Then Christopher asked her, hey, how do you like your school? I said, I don't like it. And I had it. I had that. It was not directed to me. It was directed to Elder Christopher. But I actually had that. I don't like it. But she didn't tell me. Okay? My father has done his best. He has taken me to one of the so-called good school in Kilifi. He has paid everything, you know. And then they used to drop my daughter very late. So they would go around with their old Nissan car. Then she will land in my house the first day alikuja 10. The first day. And then she has homework. She needs to eat. She needs to sleep. Tomorrow 5, she's out. You want 400, isn't it? So I said, I will be coming and take my daughter because they were having tuition until 8. So I'll be coming there. I'll pick my daughter myself. Okay? I tried that. After that month, I moved her to another school that I will not disclose. So when I went to that school, at least it was actually a school. Children are playing, they are making themselves dirty, And I said, this is a school. Yes. Ukiona mtoto ameenda shule na amerudi clean. Start questioning the environment. Now, let me just mention for you some of the environments that actually affect or teach your children. Number 1 is your home. Okay? Your home. And then you people who have a habit of sending your kids for sleepovers. You better know those homes. All right? School. The school your child attend is an environment that influences your child. They teach your child more than you actually do. The friends they have. Unaelewa? Yes. I have noticed. Achana na huyu mtoto. Because Newton doesn't want this child to walk around and discover a few things here. Everywhere they will chase this baby. Everywhere. So, Newton allowed this boy to explore. Sawa sawa. By the way, he will begin to learn that this is dangerous when it hurts him. All right. Don't be overprotective. My daughter used to like, that candle. She was just amused, what is this? So I allowed her to touch the flame. And she actually touched the flame. From that day henceforth, she respects candles. And that's important. And Jason also he was so curious about the iron box. All right? I allowed the hot iron box to touch him. Up to today, he actually handles the iron box with care. Experience is the best teacher. So, the friends your kids have, they also teach them. And they teach them a lot, by the way. The friends your kids have. When the Bible says Jesus sticks closer than a brother, and then it talks about what a friend we have in Jesus. Friends have influence to their friends. So that environment, your friends, ya watoto wako. And then some of you have even started homeschooling because you don't want your children to mingle with other children. You are also doing something terribly wrong. They need to have friends. They need to choose friends. Okay? They need to choose friends. What you need to do is to control the environment. You control the environment. By the way, friends are very good people in life. They are very valuable in life. And every human being needs friends. Okay? So don't decide who will become a friend to your child per se, but control the environment. There are some places you have to put down your foot and say, this one, no. Okay? Why? You can explain. You have to explain and make sense. You have to make sense. But don't just say, those ones are bad. Those ones are bad people. That's also wrong. You don't tell a child that. That flani, they are bad. Okay? If I am your child, me, I am very curious. So when you tell me, wale watu ni wabaya sana, I want to discover myself. Seriously, how bad are they? Okay? And in many cases I have discovered they were not bad. You only had a bad experience with them, so you think I will also have the same. So you want to protect me. Let me also have my own experiences. But control the environment. Okay? And then the most serious one is ma vitu na ma social media. Vitu kama television, iPad, iPhone, the internet and the computer, my films. Those things, they are teaching our children more than you know. Okay? You people who love your kids to watch cartoon all the time, you know, when they watch the cartoon, they are just quiet, they are not causing disturbance, and you are busy doing your thing. Or you give them your phone, okay? So that they watch their favorite games and cartoons and everything. All right? And you think, that's great. Mtoto wako kwa room yake, amenyamaza huko 2 hours. Akona na tablet. Okay? And that's it. You think actually you're okay. Because hakudisturb, you are doing your thing. So there are some parents actually who have even bought iPhone, not smartphones, sorry, for their children. Smartphone, big one. I know. And those phones are actually connected to Netflix. The kids can go there and watch stuff. We love them, isn't it? Yeah. That's sweet. But that becomes the environment that is training your child. There are cartoons that are promoting homosexuality, by the way. Okay? You have seen them. There are actually cartoons that are promoting homosexuality and lesbianism. The cartoons too. So your child sees that. Okay? So in his mind, that's normal. Isn't it? So he approves of this kind of a relationship. Then somewhere along the line, they actually start such kind of a relationship. And then, unakuja bado unakuwa mkali, you become very angry. And then they wonder, why are you angry? And you're the one actually who introduced me to this. Now, you become the enemy of your child at that time. How many of you here, I know many of you, maybe you are here, you grew up in those homes with televisions, with those things? How many? Yeah? You are the lucky ones. You are the lucky ones. How about phones? No phones? You didn't have phones, eh? Okay. Okay. Nyinyi, which one? The black one? Great Wall. The Great Wall. Nyinyi wa Samsung na watoto wa juzi nyinyi. ya Sony. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Were there cartoons? You watch? Okay. What kind of the cartoons were there? Okay. In those days, even the content was controlled. The content was seriously controlled. But today, no. How many of us, we have internet in our homes and our kids have access to them? Okay? It's a good thing. Remember, we've said you control the environment. You control the environment. You need to know what your kids are watching. All right? A lady, a member actually of one church, one day came to me and she was telling me that the kids are watching pornography. And they are small kids. And then the mother became very angry. And they protested. They said, but we found this thing in dad's phone. And they were so bold. Yes. Then they transferred it to their phones. The phones that dad and mom bought for them. Now they're watching pornography. Then unakuja church, you are fasting and praying. My children, Lord, my children. But actually, you are the initiator of that bad manners. You love them excessively. I told my daughter Grace, there will be no phone until the time you are going to the university. That's when I'll buy you a phone. But for now, actually no phone. And I did not, even when she was in high school, there was no phone. If you're in school, use the Mwalimu's phone, call me, we talk. Okay? So when she was going to the university now, I took myself to the shop and she picked her phone. Of course, with the manageable, the prices, the limits. The limits. Okay? Also, the church is another influencer, and they are the neighbors. All right? Those are areas that also train your child. So it is important, if you can, to control the environment ya watoto wako. Now, I have a few suggestions that I need to give you very quickly. I'm taking a lot of time. The first suggestion that I want to give you as a parent, teach your children work ethics. All right? Teach your children at an early age work ethic. Teach them to work hard. Teach them that God blesses working hard. Teach them working hard is honoring God. Hard work pays. And actually hard work is obeying God. Those are things that you have to instill to your children. And I will tell you, the home is the best place to start teaching work ethics to our children. The home. Involve them. Work together with them. Okay? Sometimes I take my boys and I tell them, okay, let's go and slash the grass outside na tuzikusanye katupe huko. Okay? So mimi nakata, Peter na rek, JJ anabeba wheelbarrow. Anapeleka kwenda kumwaga huko. And we do that. Sema nimechoka paka tumalize. Until we finish, and that is it. And they have to. I was actually planning to take them to my construction site. You know, I have not gone there for a while because there has not been much progress. So there's lots of grass. So I was thinking I take them there to Limbe. But a good Samaritan decided to do it for me. So Colossians 3:23 and 24 says, whatever you do, do it heartily as unto the Lord. So let's teach our children work ethics. Naelewa. Sometimes we overprotect them. We don't want them to do anything. Okay? We don't. Even some girls, they are big girls and they don't know how to cook. Surely. And they grew up in a home. Girls don't know how to cook. When did you learn to cook? Some of us, when we were already, by the time I was going to primary school class 1, I knew to do everything. In our home, we used to be many. Nowadays we are scattered. But in those days we were many. Actually, we were so many. So we had a compound, a big compound. So that compound was divided into small portions. Every school-going child had a portion to clean before they go to school. So you wake up, you clean, then go to school. Because in school you have also a portion to clean. So why go clean there and you don't clean here? So we used to first clean at home. Okay? During farming now, there was also a portion to farm early in the morning. So you wake up at 5, go do your portion, come and clean, then wash your legs, because it was actually washing your legs and these parts, and then we go to school. And we did that. I started actually working for money when I was still in primary school. I would go and farm in someone's farm and make money. I'd go and plant in someone's farm and make money when I was in primary school. Okay? And when I went to high school, I was bought 1 pair of shoes and 1 pair of a short trouser and a shirt. That's all. That was my uniform. And that is all for the 4 years. That's all for the 4 years. Some of the items I bought from one, I lost them in the first week. They were stolen. My basin was stolen in the first 1 week. Okay? My slippers were stolen in the first week. Now I had to figure out a way to survive. And I survived. I survived, including using trees as a toothbrush. You have to survive. Find a way to survive. Then know how to talk to people. Okay? Sometimes you do not have soap ya kufulia nguo. Know how to talk to people. Yes. Know how to talk to people. That will survive. But the rest I worked to get my own school uniform. I would work during the holidays. I would go and work in a construction place. Eh? But today we have children that cannot do anything. Someone actually amemaliza university. They can't think by themselves. Parents ndio wote tunakimbia tukiwatafutia kazi, looking for job for our children. It's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be so. Let them look for jobs. Yes. Let them work. Like Papa Mosh, take your children to work in your shops. Let them go and fix lights. Teach them to do it. Let them accompany you. Let them do it. Let them learn how to do it. You know, sometimes we give them these kids gadgets. These gadgets will not teach them how to farm. The gadget will not teach them how to paint. Painting. Welding. You have to teach them. The easiest thing that we teach them is computers. We teach them computer so that they spend their time on this one. Already created content. They keep them busy with created content. When will they create? When will they create? We buy toys for our children, isn't it? But some of us, we made toys for ourselves. We made the toys for ourselves. Today, I am told there is CBC. But largely, it is parents that are actually doing it. That is nonsense, in my opinion. Because you are sent to go and do something, it is the parent that does the thing, gives the child to take to school. So it is the parents that are going back to school. That is what is happening. Number 2, encourage their gifts. Okay? We've said, number one, you teach them work ethic. Number two, encourage their gifts. This is important. Be attentive to gifts that God has given your children. The earlier we discover this, the earlier we encourage and develop them before they become adults. It is important. Remember, I've said parenting is an art. And every child is unique, I've said. All right? So you need to pay attention to every child. While they are still young, you can actually begin to see what God actually ordained them to be. And then begin to encourage their gifts. The only problem with us, usishika hiyo, wacha hiyo utaumia. Usipande hapo utaumia. That's what we do. That's why Newton runs up and down everywhere here. It's because we do not want them to do that. We do not. But it is actually through those things that you begin to see their interests. You begin to learn their interests. Eh? My son, for example, Peter, loves animals so much. To the extent that he started keeping chicken. Okay? In the house. Then they started becoming many. Then wanakunya ovyo. Sasa, I don't like it at all. Now, I started speaking things that are negative. It's my confession. Bad parenting on that one. I started speaking things. I don't like Mavia cook up everywhere. I started saying things. And then, slowly by slowly, my boy started pulling out from his own projects. Yeah. He became less and less concerned about those things. Then far much later now, it hit me so badly. But the damage had already been done. The decision has been made in his heart. So please, encourage their gifts. Just encourage their gifts. Panasema, stop it. No, you're getting dirty. It is actually in getting dirty that things are invented. You invent things. Let's allow them to get dirty, but let's encourage them. Let's encourage them. Okay? Also, Peter likes running. He's very fast. And so he has been telling me, Daddy, take me somewhere there is a competition. I can make money. So I was telling him, where do I take you here in Clifford? Niwapi, there is no competition here. When you go to high school, maybe you can do it. And he has been repeatedly telling me, take me to somewhere, Bwana. But honest, he wants to make money through running. Okay? Honest. We need to encourage. We need to encourage our children when they are still very tender, very young. Take time, study your child. Number 3, give your children opportunities to do things. All right? Give them opportunities to do things. Give them opportunity to do certain things. Yeah? Sometimes actually, give them something to destroy. Yeah? Sometimes they're interested in something, let them destroy it. From the process, actually, they will learn something. Very valuable lesson to invent certain things that may later on amazes you. Okay? But there are some parents, their houses are well arranged. Even kids know. You don't. You have to walk in a particular manner, even in the house. But let's encourage our kids, by the way, to do things. Yeah? To build things. Hata kama unaona nacheza na mchanga huko. It is not useless. It's learning place there. It's a learning place. So allow them to get that. Okay? Those who live in flats, sometimes you'll have to take your children out. Yeah? I know we were born with shoes in town. So we don't know how even the grass feel like. But did you know that even the grass is therapeutic to children when they step on it? Yeah, scientifically it is. So nyinyi kaeni tu mkiwavisha viatu saa yote na masocks. Viatu saa yote. neurotypical. It works something about even their brain. There's something about the grass. Come out. There is something about the grass. Okay? Did you know even the sun, it's good for your children? Did you know that? Wachoma najua huko. We are overprotective in our generation. So allow them, give them opportunity to do things. You know, don't allow them to watch too much TV. Sawa? Don't give them smartphones and tablets, etc. You see, when you are growing up, you didn't have these things, isn't it? See, you are still fine. You are okay, isn't it? Your son will never learn how to drive, welding, carpentry, all these things by just watching the television. All right? They need to make their hands dirty. Do you know some of our children, they don't know even how to use the djembe? They don't. Even how to use it. They don't. Some of our children still think that the chicken we have in the supermarket was just born like that. For real? Yeah? Some children have not even seen goats. They haven't seen cows in real life. Yeah? They think meat is just, that's how it is. Either it grows from a tree, like they don't understand completely. So we raise them like the chicken, the broilers. We raise our chicken like our kids like broilers. You put them in the boot, 3 kilometers they are dead. Okay? Lakini weke ya kienyeji hapo. Paka Kakamega. Paka Kakamega. By the way, it is said that TVs, phones, and tablets ruins children's concentration span. These gadgets are ruining our children's proper development. So you may think actually you're doing them a favor, you're not. That's why in school, in those days, we used to have a PE lesson. Every day there must be a PE lesson, physical exercise. And we'd go to the field and stretch. Curl big, curl small, fly spring, all these things. They are important for the development of a child. But most private schools don't have those things. And that's where we take our children. This is not how God called us to parent, my friends. If your children will watch TV, if they will not watch the TV, they will not die. Yes. India. After all, even today, some of us cannot leave our phones. Everywhere we go, we have our phones. Hata ukitoka ukisahau simu utarudi. But zamani, in those days, we didn't have phones. And we lived so perfectly. And then the phones came, the ones that you so you call. You can even write a letter and tell someone, I'll be calling you in this date. So go there at the booth and wait at this time. And they'll go there and wait for a call. We used to do that. I did it with my wife. I would go and wait at the booth. Yes. For a call. Yeah. So sometimes there's another person there. He's answering the call. Time has come. You're waiting. And then everybody goes. There she goes. Jen. Okay. You give it to Jen. And we are perfectly okay. Do we look like we are missing anything? Absolutely not. Okay? Okay? My daughter isn't said something that annoyed my wife. Okay. She went out without permission. So according to her, it is an adult. Okay? And the adults don't ask permission where they are going. You understand? And then she said that, we were not allowed something like that, to go home, blah, blah, without permission. And then she asked, when was that? You understand the reasoning? So to my daughter, we are too old. We are old school. We don't understand the current situation. My wife was very angry with that. Seriously, very angry that my daughter wanted to make her hair because it has been there for months. And the mother refused completely. Okay? And don't even ask dad about it. So you're not that. Okay. Make your hair. So you're an adult. Yeah. Actually, I told her, if you're an adult, you have to leave this house. Go and live by yourself. Pay your bills. Pay your school fees. So you're an adult. Yes. You do that. Because adults actually take care of themselves. But at this point, the next thing is find other people to speak into their lives. Okay? Now, this one is very important, by the way. Sasa, if my daughter thinks that I am old, okay, and I don't understand the in things, all right, I need to find a reasonable in-thing person and talk to her sense. Or someone else other than me, okay? Another parent other than me. Because sometimes your child may think that you are very old. You don't understand. But when they hear it from another person, it actually kills the arguments. It kills the argument. So find someone else, let them talk to them. Okay? It can really help. There's another pastor, his son used to work somewhere, and he got a job. So the father told him, now this kind of a job you need to put on a suit, because that company normally they put on suits. He said, no, I can't do that. Why? Because he likes to be free with jeans and aftukamai. Then he argued with the father and argued, and then the father left it like that. So one day, someone else talked to him, somebody who is some kind of an influencer to this young man. He said, you know what? I want you to accompany me to a certain place. There was something. He said, but I want you to be in suit. He said, suit? Why? Yeah, because I said it so. You have to be smart. You know, when you put on a suit, you look smart, and then people respect you. You know, they just respect the way you appear, you know. Then the guy went home, and he says, Dad, there's that issue of a suit that you talked to me about. I want one. And then the father went like, why? What changed? So, you know, so-and-so talked to me about it, and it made sense. So you see. So sometimes actually find someone else to talk to your child. You know, sometimes we get, we become embarrassed that people will know that probably our child is struggling. So we want to keep that to ourselves so that other people don't know. By so doing, actually, you're destroying yourself and you're destroying your child. Okay? Find trustworthy people. Let them talk. Yeah? They can really change. But also, you need to partner with your children. You know, there are some parents, they appear as though they are working in competition with their children. Right? When your child, for example, comes up with a proposal that they want to do something, sometimes they're very passionate about something. They want to do something and they need some little money from you to do something. Then you find like, hiyo kitu ni kama waste of money. Some of us, we think that way. But actually, the best thing you can do is to partner with them. Say, okay, we will do this. I will support you this way, in this manner. Okay? You do that, me, I will do this. Okay? So let's be partners in this thing. Let's do it together. When they know that their parent is behind them, nothing will be impossible. But when they receive criticism and negative, whatever, rejection from the parent, these kids cannot do anything again. They will not. You are the number one influencer. They trust, they believe you. So partner with your children, but don't be in competition. Okay? I've seen mothers in competition in giving birth with their children. Mtoto wake akizaa mama naye anazaa huko. I saw one actually, until one of the daughter actually confronted the mother, saying, "Mama, you're embarrassing us. When are we in competition?" Allow me to finish with this one. Training must be focused. Okay? Training must be focused. You know, training is repeating action, which, when left alone, will continue. Okay? That's training. A repeated action that, when left alone, will continue. That's why the Bible says, train a child in the way that he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it. Even when you stop that training, they will still continue with it. So, I want to give you things that we should train our children to do. Number one, train your child to attend church regularly. Okay? Parents must demonstrate this by becoming regular church attendees themselves. Okay? Attending church regularly. It sounds small, but actually it's a big thing in the whole overall well-being of our child. Some of us don't take church seriously. Some of us don't come to church early, and we don't take it serious, and our children are watching. Okay? And they will follow after your footsteps, and even worse. That's the truth. They may not even come to church. After all, you didn't take it very serious. So train your children to come to church early by setting an example yourself. Come to church early. Bwana asifiwe sana. Alex, umesikia? We come to church early. Train your child to have his or her quiet time every day. Now, this is important. And they need to watch you. They need to see you doing it. Having a quiet time. Naja wakuulize, naambia, you know, I'm having a quiet time. Wakuulize ni nini hiyo? You explain. Okay? And then you train that you need to have this. And the benefit of this is this and this and this. You explain it to your child. But they need to see you doing it. Okay? I used to have a habit of praying sometimes, not always. And I would pray in my room. I would go there and lock myself there. Pray and pray loud. And sometimes I would pray in tongues. So one day my children asked me that this language that you talk, actually they said, what is that? I mean, what is that? Do you know what you are saying? What is it, Yani? It's a good time, by the way, now to start to train. Explain what this is. Okay? They have heard it and they have seen it being practiced. Okay? When they grow up, they will not leave that. But also train your child to pray. Train them to pray. Okay? Show them the value of prayer. Nanelewa. Even when your child tells you, Daddy, I want you to buy me this, or I do not have this. Okay? That's a place actually to teach your child how to pray. You can tell them, let's pray about it, and God will provide. Then muombe na yeye. Okay? Don't just say, okay, I will pass by the shop and I'll bring it. So they'll know everything's come from the shop. But we trust God for many things in life. Okay? Your child is sick. Before you run to the hospital, tell them, let's pray that God touches you and he will heal you. Then you pray with the child. Teach them. Okay? And then train your child to believe in a higher authority that will correct him. Now, that's important. To believe in a higher authority. And this higher authority actually begins both nawatu, people that are higher than this person, to make corrections. Okay? But then also, there is God also in heaven. So we have to teach these children so that when he's doing something wrong out there and someone else speak to them who is adult, they will actually take that correction seriously. Okay. One day, we were from church. It was actually on a Sunday morning. Then there's members of our church, ladies. They were sisters, about 4 sisters. And they asked me, please, we need to go to their house and pray for something in their home. They have been asking, so we had made that appointment. So after church, we left together and we boarded a matatu, all of us. And they had a small boy, just a small boy. So we all sat, and that boy was also given a special seat, a seat. The parents paid for a seat. And then, an old mzee actually wanted to come in, and then there was no space. So the makanga akamwambia mami, pakata mtoto, mzee afanye nini? Akae. Kitoto kilikuwa kibonge kimelishwa kweli mayai. And then the mother akasema, no, I will pay. So mzee akafanya nini? Akashuka. I felt so bad. What was this mother teaching this little lad? Zero respect for elders. Zero respect for adults. That money is everything. That's what he was trying to teach. So we teach in many ways our children. So teach them to respect authority. Teach them to respect authority. You know? It is very important. And it begins in the home. It begins in the home. Okay? Of course, we have already talked about train them to work hard at all time in everything that they do. And the home is the best training ground. And then train them to be God conscious at home. Train them to be God conscious at home. Now, my time is, nimechukua time nyingi, but forgive me for that. God is good. That's the, I will just cut it at that point. So, now, there is the experience part now that we will learn from our different places. As we go to those groups, we will share real experiences, okay? And then we will come and present, all right? And then the panelists will try to answer selected questions, all right? And then we will have some experience. Someone will share the experience, all right? Yeah, especially Mama Patience. You must have serious experience raising girls that are now adults, okay? They are adults. And yeah, that's good. So, Newton, what am I supposed to do after here? Oh, Makubi.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Haina shida zote ni zangu. So, yes, Makubu. So, thank you very much. I was going to actually make a joke and say, si tunaweza enda nyumbani. Seminar imeisha. Anyway, thank you very much, Pastor. I think that was very enlightening. We now want to break up into groups. So what we want to do in these groups, before I give you the groups, let me just tell you what we hope you'll do. So just try and, once you choose whichever group makes you happy, it doesn't have to be where you're at. It can be so when I list them, you don't have to necessarily go there. You can go to a group of children who are older or younger than what you get. When you're in the group, please introduce yourselves. We are very few, so a group may have even 5 people. Please get to know each other. This might be the only time people of first and second service ever meet, except when we have combined services. So please introduce yourselves. You can also, then what the purpose of that breakout is just to speak around your experiences with the children you have or hope to have or have had. You know, it's for we are very diverse in this group, so it can then we want the discussions to be individual. So let's avoid as above. Vile huyu amesema hata mimi no guys, it's a small group. Talk about your challenges and possible solutions. Anything that can't be resolved in the group, those are questions we are bringing back to the plenary. So you will have a group leader who will just be taking notes but also participating. So the groups will be people who want to discuss around raising toddlers and preschool children. There'll be those who want to be in a group for preteens. So this would be maybe the 9 to about 12 years old. The teens, so the whole spectrum from 12 around there all the way to young adulthood. And then there'll be a group of young adults or people who have children who are grown up and maybe already working. So we have group leaders. So the group leaders can just stand up when I name them, and you can follow whichever group you want. So for the ones who want to speak, who want to talk about toddlers, preschoolers, those the children we have seen running around here, will be with Jemima. Chagua kona yako. Where she goes to stand, go and join Jemima if that's what is interesting to you. For the preteens, the 8-year-olds, 12, around there, who are just getting a little bit independent in their way of thinking, will be Lydia Chair. So the ones who want to follow Lydia. For the teens, that what Pastor said, that sort of difficult period of life, Papa Omosh. And then finally, for the ones who want to, you have sort of adult children, any challenges around their children who are working, should be working, maybe university level, will be with George Care. I'd seen George, yes. So, chagua group yako, fuata mdosi wako. Toddlers, preschoolers, Jemima, ako pale. Preteens, Lydia is finding a place. So what we will do, I will be going round, and in about 20 minutes, we shall all come back to this plenary. So, Santeni. For the media, maybe if you have a mobile camera, because I think we'll be in groups.
Okay, hii utabidi upeane one group. One group ya na mic na
And then now you can focus on them. So this mic will be revolving because the media people also want to hear. So I'll randomly give it to a group for a few minutes, then take it away. Marshal your troops. I'll come, nitakuja kuwasimamisha shortly. And then just for the media, then for the whole session, the media the media is running, but it's not showing anything.
Sawa, mimi naitwa Alice Kijala.